You walk into a dealership with an 800 credit score. The salesman treats you like royalty. He shows you the banner above the lot, 0% APR. No interest, not a single dollar in financing charges. And for a moment, you feel like you finally won one. You did not win. My name is Jordan, and once you start paying attention to how the financial system actually works, you begin noticing something strange. The deals that feel like rewards are often the ones doing the most damage, and this one, the 0% car loan, is one of the most elegantly disguised traps in the entire consumer financial system, because it is not hiding from you. It is sitting right there on a banner 30 feet in the air in bright red letters. Let me show you exactly how it works. Right now, in early 2026, dealerships across the country are sitting on a problem: unsold inventory, trucks and electric vehicles that have been collecting dust for 90 days or more. Manufacturers need those cars gone, but they cannot just slash the price, because the moment they do, everyone knows the car is worth less than they said it was. So instead of cutting the price, they cut the interest rate all the way to 0. And this is where the math changes. Here's the mechanism in one sentence. When a manufacturer offers you 0% financing, they are not giving you free money. They are quietly paying the interest to their own bank on your behalf, and then recovering every single dollar of that cost somewhere else. And the place they recover it is the one number you stopped negotiating the moment you saw that banner: the price of the car. Picture two doors. Door A says 0% financing. Door B says $5,000 cash rebate. The dealership will present these as equal options. They are not even close to equal. When you pick door A, you feel like you won. You feel like you picked the smart option. But what actually happened is this: by choosing 0%, you locked yourself into paying the full sticker price. The rebate disappears. The negotiating leverage disappears, because the dealer knows you're not focused on the price anymore. You're focused on the rate. Let's be honest for a second. We've all sat in that chair and done the math in our head based on the monthly payment. That's the game. That's exactly the game. Here is the number that should stop you cold. As of early 2026, 58% of Americans trading in a vehicle owe more on it than it is worth. 58%. That is not a few people making bad decisions. That is a systemic outcome. And the 0% loan is one of the primary machines producing it. This is how it happens in real life. You buy a $50,000 truck. You take the 0% offer. You skip the $6,000 rebate because the financing sounds better. Your loan starts at $50,000. From day one, you owe more than the car is worth, because the moment you drive off the lot, the vehicle loses value while the loan balance stays high. By year 2, you owe $40,000. The truck is worth $33,000. You are already $7,000 underwater, and you have made every single payment on time. But that is not the strange part. The strange part is that this outcome is not a bug in the system. It is the intended result. Think about what the manufacturer actually wants. They do not want to reduce the price of the car. If a $50,000 truck suddenly sells for $42,000, every journalist, every forum, every competitor notices. The brand takes a hit, the resale values on last year's models collapse, dealers start calling, it becomes a crisis. So instead, the manufacturer pays its own finance company, called a captive lender, to absorb the interest cost. They keep the price high, they keep the brand intact, and they pass the invisible cost directly to you through a loan balance you cannot escape for 5 to 6 years. The payment was never the product, the debt was. Here's where it gets almost funny if it were not so expensive. A $50,000 truck at 0% is $833 a month. A $44,000 truck, after that $6,000 rebate, financed at 6% interest, is $850 a month. $17 more per month. But on day one, you have $6,000 more in equity. You are not underwater. You have room. And in 3 years, when that truck needs new tires and brakes and the transmission starts making a noise you've never heard before, you can actually sell it. The 0% buyer cannot.
You know exactly what I mean. You've seen the person trapped in a car they can't get rid of. Maybe it was you. The car needs $2,000 in work, the dealer offers $28,000 in a trade-in, the loan balance is $40,000, you do the math, and then you just close the calculator app and drive home. Now, let's talk about who else is in the room when you sign. The dealership makes more money than most people realize in the finance office, not from selling you the car, but from selling you everything that happens after the price is agreed upon. Extended warranties, gap insurance, protection packages. In early 2026, the average dealership earns over $2,500 per vehicle in the finance office alone. And when you walk in having already saved all that money on interest, the pitch becomes easy. You feel flush, you say yes to things you would have said no to otherwise. That's not an accident. That's the sequence working exactly as designed. And there's one more player nobody talks about, the captive lender. Ford Credit, Toyota Financial. These are not neutral banks, they are the manufacturer's bank, and they have a specific reason for wanting your 800 credit score that has absolutely nothing to do with your truck.
They bundle borrowers like you, reliable, high-score, never-miss-a-payment borrowers, into financial packages called asset-backed securities and sell them to institutional investors on Wall Street. Your monthly payment becomes someone else's investment product before the ink on your loan is dry. So let that sit for a second. You spent 3 weeks researching trim levels, negotiating floor mats, and agonizing over color options. And somewhere in a conference room you will never see, a portfolio manager is adding your loan to a spreadsheet next to 4,000 other people who also thought they got a great deal on a 0% offer. You did not buy a truck. You became a line item. The bank does not need you to fail. It just needs you to stay. Here's the comparison that makes this click. Imagine a grocery store offers 0% interest on a $10 loaf of bread, no payments for a year. Meanwhile, the store across the street sells the exact same bread for $2. You're not paying interest at the first store, but you're still paying $8 extra for bread. The 0% sign changed how you thought about the transaction. It moved your attention from the price to the terms. That's the entire strategy. Nobody walks into a dealership thinking about their equity position 5 years from now. They think about whether they can handle the monthly payment. And the system is built entirely around that fact. The longer the loan term, the more acceptable the payment looks, and the less visible the actual cost becomes. Right now, the average car loan in America runs 69 months, almost 6 years. That's long enough for the car to depreciate significantly while the loan balance stays stubbornly high. Long enough to feel like a normal financial relationship instead of what it actually is, a subscription to someone else's profit margin. So here's the part that almost nobody talks about when they post the photo of their new truck on social media. The people who consistently come out ahead in car purchases are not the ones with the best credit scores. They're not the ones who negotiated the hardest on the monthly payment. They're the ones who refused to let the rate distract them from the price. And here's what that actually looks like in practice. They do the math on the rebate first. They negotiate the purchase price as if financing doesn't exist yet, because during that conversation, it shouldn't. They treat the interest rate and the purchase price as two completely separate transactions, because that's exactly what they are. The dealer wants them combined. The buyer should keep them apart. A lower price with real interest is often structurally cheaper than a higher price with manufactured 0%. And the $6,000 you keep in equity on day one doesn't show up on a monthly payment comparison, but it shows up when the transmission goes. It shows up when you want to trade in. It shows up when life changes and you need to get out of the vehicle before the loan ends. Here's the part that's genuinely uncomfortable to sit with. The 0% offer is not a reward for your credit score. It's a targeting mechanism. The system looks for the borrower most capable of carrying a large loan for a long time without defaulting, and it offers them the most favorable sounding terms to lock them into the most expensive version of the transaction. Your 800 credit score did not protect you from the system. It made you the system's preferred customer. Think about that the next time a salesman congratulates you on your excellent credit.
He's not complimenting your discipline. He's confirming you qualify for the premium-priced version of the product. The math doesn't care about the rate. It cares about the number you started with. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. The banner still says 0%. The salesman still rolls out the carpet. But now you know exactly what the carpet is for.